Welcome back to Young Trip Reactions. The next video we're going to do is HIV in the Philippines. This video is connected to someone I know very, very well personally. My number one A1 day one out in the Philippines, the Filipina Pea. Can't wait to eventually head out there to go and visit her soon. Probably around my 30th to 29th birthday. Can't wait to do it. But this video, because you know I do relationship type content, reaction videos. Obviously I do music on my channel, and I wanted to look into this as a person who's planning to travel out that way eventually, and just to bring awareness to other foreigners who is considering going. Um, my homegirl, my A1 day one, my number one out in Manila, the Filipina Pea. Let's get into it. Filipina Pea, Filipina Pea, Filipina Pea.
Hello everyone, I have a very special guest for today. Please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I am Belle. I handle HIV patients.
Is it a tough job?
Probably a tough job.
Tough job.
Seeing people progress to more severe cases rather than HIV.
People are still uncomfortable talking about this subject.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because the stigma.
The stigma.
Yeah. People underestimate you when once you have HIV.
They're already passing judgment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And they outcast you and they treat you differently,
Yeah,
right?
they treat you differently. And they would be afraid to go near or even
Talk to you.
talk to you, yeah. So people starts from HIV, then progresses to AIDS, which is currently, as of now, has less percentage because usually they do not live longer.
Right.
Since
And so I'm guessing from what the doctor is saying that obviously most people don't get treatment or get the treatment like we have back here in the U.S. because the Philippines, I'm guessing, is not obviously is not as developed as we are here. That they don't have all the treatments, or people are refusing, if they do have it, that they're refusing to get the treatment, is what I think that the doctor is is saying, and then a lot of the people are ending up with AIDS. Let's continue.
their immune system is kind of low, so they get a lot of illness such as tuberculosis and other severe cases or diseases or illness.
Here in the Philippines, though, how often do people get tested?
That is
Very low?
yeah, very low.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. But I'm sure they're about to get into why that is.
I think they're afraid to even talk about it, let alone going to the hospital and
Yeah.
have themselves tested, right?
Yeah, actually, my last patient that I handled was, I mean, has a severe case of AIDS or
Oh,
HIV since I mean, he was diagnosed late.
very late.
Yeah, so obviously he is completely turned into full blown AIDS. Oh man, let's continue.
I
Like
assume.
late, like he already has a lot of diseases and illness that could even progress to more severe cases.
It could
So
have been avoided
yeah, it could have been avoided if he could have it tested earlier.
what disease is increasing the most currently in here in the Philippines?
Probably HIV.
HIV.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we aware of it?
People are aware of it, but they don't want to know more
About
about
it?
it
Okay.
since they are afraid to. Once you go deeper with that information, then they would
They'll be scared.
yeah, they'd be afraid
Ah,
knowing more.
okay, so it is part of our education. It is actually taught in
Yeah.
school. It's just that people know about it, they just don't want to talk about it.
Yes.
I have comments.
Well, that is bad because you need to talk about it because you need to be aware of it and aware on how to handle it, especially in a country that is, not as developed as the U.S. or maybe even certain other countries. So then you can try to handle it because you may not be able to have access um, to the same type of treatment as a person here in the U.S. or somewhere else. You need to be aware of it so you can try to get the treatment that you can get to get it treated. I know people, of course, you wouldn't want to talk about it, but you need to get that handled and taken care of, and definitely not be spreading it to other people trying to pretend like, oh, it doesn't exist by out here just kicking it with different people that don't have it and possibly giving it to them. Let's continue.
From my subscribers. So most of them come here and they're wondering why some Filipinas would not want the guy to wear a condom. They don't want to use contraception.
I mean, first case is poverty. Since a lot of though a lot of condoms are given through private sectors such as barangays,
Yeah.
but usually those are neglected.
Okay.
And some people who are going to do the deed,
Yeah.
has to go through all the process of going to a store to buy a condom,
Yeah.
or even find money to buy condom.
Okay.
So, and usually also as what other people say, it is much more better
Just to do it
without it,
without it. But
since the
that's
feeling. But
okay, the sensation.
But the thing is, if you do, until you really know the person and in a serious relationship, in a where you're seriously dating, engaged, married, or something like that, it's best to uh, either use protection until you're sure about the person, or just not engage if you're so wanting the sensation and all that, to uh, wait until you really, really know the person, or go get tested together as a couple or something like that to try to handle that, especially knowing that you're in a third world country. Let's continue.
Okay.
but I mean,
See, the problem is though, let's say if the guy has, he has condoms in his pocket, but the Filipina actually says like, no, I don't want you to use that. You have to protect yourself. Obviously, I mean, one particular subscriber of mine said, like, I know I am clean. I have myself tested, but how does she know that I am clean? It's the problem because
Yeah.
it's the woman that asks him, do not use it. Maybe in this particular case, she just wants to get pregnant. But as a whole, this is not a
But the thing is, too, if you're just trying to, because I know that some videos that I know that P has done too about a lot of Filipinas, they want to get pregnant or they really like the person, so they want to try to get the person to only be with them, especially like us foreigners hopping off the plane. Uh, Even if you step into the mall, there's foreigners there, and a lot of Filipinos are there because they work there, and they're turning their heads as soon as they see a foreigner, and they chasing them down, and they're trying to get them to be with. I mean, you just don't know what has been going on back here in the U.S. or whatever country they're from, and they could end up giving you something, and they probably are trying to protect you because they value Filipinos, because that's the point of why we're there, because we want to get a Filipino partner. And the girl's like, oh, I don't want you to wear a hat, but they're like, hey, I really should wear this, but they don't want to say why. But the woman, because she's so eager to want to get pregnant, or she want to lock down the foreigner because she really likes him and all this other stuff, because she thinks he's good looking on the outside, or maybe that he has a lot of money and all this other stuff. And these are conversations that like me and P have even had, about like, Filipinas, being aware of like who they talk to, be open minded. Me and P, we've had some disagreements about certain things. We've agreed on certain things. But we still, we cool. That's my girl. Shoot, she know I still need to kick it with her. She know what I mean when I say kick it, and everybody else do too. But you when you don't know what they had going on in their other country. Because like I was really trying to get into before I said what I said about P, to throw off track, um, is that maybe he's really there because he really wants a good partner and he really wants a Filipina as a serious girlfriend, or wife or fiance or whatever it is that he may want. Um, but he wants to protect you from what he unfortunately got himself into. But you are just so eager to have a baby, or so eager to, like P was saying about feeling the sensation. And you need to really know what your partner, what they really had going on before you, because otherwise you can end up with something. And you don't want to end up with something. And a sensation is not worth you ending up with a disease that you can't get rid of, because HIV is not something that you can get rid of. It is for life, and it can, in a third world country that's not as developed as the U.S. or some other countries, like the Philippines is not as developed as here, that you could end up with full blown AIDS and not have a very long life, kind of like what P and the doctor here is talking about. Let's continue.
Rare occasion, because some of the people on my channel, they say, yeah, it happened to me too. The girl I was dating there, she doesn't want to use a condom, and what's up with that? Or they just want half-breed babies.
Maybe. People who do the deed
Yeah.
doesn't use condoms, since here in the Philippines, condoms are not usually well known, unlike outside.
Right. Yeah, because
Unlike-
even with the
unlike the
locals,
US,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Even if people or the barangay gives you free condoms, then they won't use it as to a good matter.
Yeah.
So because they are kind of used to it without condom.
Okay, so it could be.
And see, again, that's where the uneducation, even though you've been educated, you just be like, oh, well, I'm cool with not using it, but you don't know what somebody else has been through. A person that's from the Philippines, a person that may be from here in the U.S. or from another country and all that. You don't know exactly they've been doing before you. That's the point of using those. If you can't just wait until you go do test results and be in a serious relationship, or possibly be engaged, married, dating seriously, and been dating for months. Let's continue.
Partly culturally,
Yeah.
because we're not used to that. So whenever a Filipina dates a foreigner, and then they have that knowledge, oh, we don't use that, so okay. But please, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
if some Filipinos, I don't have a lot of Filipino audience, I don't have a lot of them watching my channel, but if you are a fellow Filipina, please.
You can put this bra
Advertisement.
on without lifting
One moment,
your
y'all.
arms. Yes. Finally, a bra made for senior.
It is better to be safe
Then sorry.
than sorry.
Yeah, okay, so please, even if you just started dating, and obviously especially if they haven't tested. I mean,
Yeah.
if they haven't
Most
had themselves, tested. So I think that should be like part of the requirement now in a relationship.
Or better yet, abstinence is the key if you don't want to use condom.
Yeah, exactly. Does the government help to control the spread of the disease?
Yes, but how does how does someone help someone who doesn't want to be helped? So
yeah, that's the problem.
It all starts within you. They do have programs, but people neglect it.
So it's us.
Yeah,
it's the problem is us.
Yes, the people is the problem itself, not the government.
They even give free condoms and contraception for women, like the pill, the contraceptive pills, and it's free. It's just that the people don't want it. I don't get it.
That is crazy, yo. That is crazy. You would rather risk getting a intimate transmitted disease that you cannot get rid of, and you're in a country, you're from a country that's not as developed as some other places. I would do everything I could, man, woman, it doesn't matter what, gender you are or anything like that. In a third world country, if you're from there especially, that you should want to do everything to protect yourself because you know that your hospitals and your treatments and all that stuff is not the same as like another country like the US or something. That is crazy. Let's continue.
We have too many people already here, so we just have to wake up and actually do something about it. I did a street interview and asked women, do they know about contraception or birth control? They don't know any. Some of them they don't know anything about it. Yeah, I'm so shocked. I don't understand because we have cell phones. You can research everything and anything, and yet they they opt not to use it. So, what's the primary modes of HIV transmission?
It is through the semen, the vaginal fluids, or even blood, or even breast milk from mothers who has HIV.
And how often should we get tested?
About usually 1 year, every year.
Every year.
Yes, if you are practicing safe sex, then 1 year could be good. But if you have a lot of or multiple partners, then it is better to be tested every 6 months.
Okay.
Or so.
Since, multiple partners. Oh my gosh, how could you?
I mean, it's crazy. But you know, with P, like, oh my God. But we know that it happens everywhere. Let's continue.
Especially those who are going through the bars, the clubs. Then here in the Philippines, there's a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah. I mean, specifically here in Cebu, there's a spike of the increase of HIV positives. Why do you think that is?
Because for me, based on what I have seen or experienced, those who have HIV wants to be or feel belong, so they try to spread. Especially in the club. So you guys should be careful going to clubs.
So basically, they are doing it in purpose, infecting other people.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I've heard some other videos already. I've heard where P has kind of talked about like going to the club is a bad thing in Manila. Yeah, and this is the first time I ever heard that because I'm actually watching this video in real time. Never even watched this video before. You know, I've heard P and them talking about like looking for a woman at the club is definitely not a good idea. It is better to meet somebody through somebody or just, you know, just out and about. But at the bar, the club, or anything like that, heck no. And then just to hear this, they're intentionally giving people a romantic transmitted disease? Oh, hell no. That's crazy, yo. This is why I tell P I need to get to know P. And I ain't lying about that either. Let's continue.
Them not to feel outcast.
Isn't it illegal or isn't it like
that should be illegal? But
it is illegal because oh my goodness. I heard that. I heard rumors when you go to a club, they will prick you with
needles.
With needles.
Containing blood from
so
HIV patients.
That is crazy, yo. That is fucking crazy. To intentionally give someone a romantic intimate disease. Here in the United States, if you do that, oh yeah, you going to jail. You is going to jail. The person may even come back and unalive you. I know I would. Are you crazy? You gave me a romantic intimate disease intentionally by injecting me with something? Oh, heck no. And I bet you they probably definitely be doing it to us foreigners because they already just, you know, upset because, you know, us coming there and having money and all this other stuff. And I know P has talked about that, you know, they don't really care about us coming there and dating the women, but you just never know how people really feel inside. This is crazy. She said that the doctor said that people that people in Manila is walking around with needles and intentionally injecting people with HIV patients' blood at the club and bar. This is crazy, yo. So I get now why P say do not go to the club. This is why I tell P I need to get to know P. This is crazy, yo. Let's continue.
Contaminated needles. So it's true. The rumors are true. It's almost like trying to sink a ship. Like let's all go down.
Since I'm going down, let's all go down.
Yeah, since I'm going down, let's all go down. That is so wrong in all
aspects.
In all aspects. Avoid bars then.
That doesn't necessarily mean avoid bars.
Okay, but
be cautious.
Be cautious. Even in the jeepneys, I heard that too. Some in the jeepneys.
Boy, if you in Manila or anywhere in the Philippines, you better wear long sleeves. You might even need to wear a mask on your face. Your skin don't even need to be showing. This is crazy, yo. Let's continue, but it is very warm in the Philippines, though. That's the thing. Boy, that's crazy. Let's continue.
I also heard that in Colon.
Yeah, in Colon.
There is a male injecting people with using needles.
Needles.
Oh, but I haven't heard from him.
I hope he's arrested or something because
that is crazy, bruh. I'm reacting to this in real time, so y'all gonna probably get a lot of pausing. This is crazy. She said that there is multiple people walking around injecting people with HIV patients' blood. This is crazy. Let's continue. This is crazy.
Some of them they're just gonna prick or something, and you wouldn't even feel it
unless
it's really bad. But oh my God,
this word is kind of scary.
It is scary. It's not like there's a herd of HIV patients that doing it. Maybe it's just a rare case. Maybe it's just that disturbed individual because he's dying. He just wants to.
Denial is in a denial stage.
Right.
Well, is he going to go get treatment? Go get treatment. Don't get mad and inject other people with your mess. This is crazy, yo. Let's continue.
That's why it was actually reported in some of TV stations, and we should just be careful, guys. Plus, we don't know how severe this problem is because people they don't want to get tested.
Yes.
They don't want to get tested.
People don't do tests or don't want to do the tests for HIV since they would be afraid to know the result.
Okay, so they don't really want to know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's
the sad truth.
This is the sad
So now the doctor is talking about how some people, because they don't want to know, I'm guessing they probably having symptoms like, oh, it probably is that, but I don't even want to go get treated. I don't even want to know, pretending like it doesn't even exist. Terrible. Let's continue.
This is the sad reality that ignorance is bliss for them. So
it is because also of the stigma.
Once
you have it, then people would treat you as what I've said, treat you like an outcast. So they don't want to feel.
So generally, Filipinos they don't want to know.
Yeah. Just like if you are sick, mostly Filipinos don't go to the hospital if they don't feel symptoms or signs. They go if it is
advertising.
I didn't realize how uncomfortable my chairs actually were until I started using this honeycomb gel cushion.
Too late.
They go if it's too late.
Yeah.
Yes, similar to just having a fever or you're coughing. Yeah. Most Filipinos will just go get some herbs or I don't know, go to the
take paracetamol.
Yeah. So they self-medicate.
Yeah.
And most of the time they won't go to the doctor and have themselves checked.
Unless it's too late. So it is the same as HIV. So people would be too afraid to know the result, which so they end up disregarding their symptoms, signs, and
so basically what she's referring to, because when you first have signs and symptoms of HIV. It's more like you just feel sick, weak, and all that type of stuff. And so what she's saying is they're just playing it down as, oh, I just have a bad virus, it'll go away, and it's really HIV. And by the time they go, they try to self-medicate and herbs and all other stuff, and then you know at some point eventually something makes them where they have to go to the hospital or go to the doctor, and then they find out that all of a sudden they did have HIV. Now all of a sudden it's full blown AIDS. This is crazy, yo. Let's continue.
Symptoms, and until it progresses to a severe case of
Oh,
HIV and AIDS.
oh my God! As a general population of Filipinos,
Yeah.
they don't wanna. I don't wanna know if I'm about to die or something. They just okay. So, what are the early signs and symptoms of a person who's positive?
Once you have once you have a contact with HIV person, then first you would experience for more than 1 to 2 months, you would experience fever.
Fever,
Yeah.
on and off fever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Headache, since the virus is already inside you, so your body is adjusting to the virus. So
it's housing it
yeah.
there. Okay.
So you would be experiencing fever, headache, or vomiting,
Okay.
then night sweats.
And they might think it's just
Yeah, a common cold.
yeah. They would
So
think
they
it's just
would
okay.
disregard it
Okay.
until it progresses to the infection settles in your body. So you would experience high grade fever that won't go away with any medication.
Okay.
Then also diarrhea, and also you have rashes.
Skin rashes.
Yeah.
Okay. Skin rash and it's very visible. Okay. What about sudden weight loss?
Yeah, unexplained weight loss is
Okay.
a indication of HIV.
Okay.
So if you had unexplained weight loss, you should probably go test.
Get tested.
Yeah, get tested. We have no actual or accurate number of people who has HIV.
Okay.
So probably it's much more severe than others countries.
Because we don't get tested.
Yeah.
We don't have the actual numbers. We just have the estimate at the moment.
Globally.
Compounding the problem. And if you want to get tested, there are not a lot of options.
Resources that you could go.
Yeah, and if you want to, and if you could afford it, then you could go to the, private clinics or private hospitals. But for someone who's poor and then they can't afford even, to buy their own food, I think they're going to prioritize their food instead of having themselves checked.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That's a lot.
Sad truth.
That's the sad truth. How much does it cost?
Well, of course, people are going to want to eat, and over trying to go to the doctor. I mean, that's a bit understandable, but if you sick like that, you should not be intimate with people until you can figure out what's going on. Let's continue.
I mean, just as an estimate.
6K to 10K.
It'll cost you about 6,000 to 10,000 pesos.
And people don't want to go through 6,000 to 10,000 just to know.
Just to know that you're sick.
Yeah. Common
Ouch.
Filipino culture.
Yeah,
I would rather pay whatever to know if I'm sick, but I know also in the Philippines money is very different than here in the U.S. They use pesos and and whatnot. So yeah, I get it. But yeah, you should not be intimate with people until you know what's going on if you're feeling sick like that. Let's continue.
oh my goodness. Yeah, plus they don't have 6,000 pesos laying around.
Yeah, they would rather buy it for food than get tested.
So what are the benefits of early HIV testing?
One benefit is complication. You avoid complication, so you try to. HIV has no cure, but it has a treatment for you to live longer. Once you get tested and you get a positive result, our public hospital offers medications for HIV, such as LTE. It's a medication, antiretroviral medication for you to fight virus, but that doesn't mean that it could eliminate the virus totally.
Okay, so it's just gonna help you avoid the severe complications.
Yeah, avoid you being much more immunocompromised and collecting a lot of disease.
So it's free from the public hospital?
Yeah, it's free, but it has a lot of requirements to do.
I know that the Philippines is not all puppies and rainbows and unicorns, but this is the sad reality here. I highlighted the fact that we are a developing country, and some people would even be um, offended. But sad to say, we are in this. We have to we have to acknowledge that that is the problem. It's also just an eye opener that if you want to live in the Philippines, you could be faced with this reality, the poverty, HIV cases and such. That's why I want you guys to be equipped with knowledge of what's going on in my home country. Filipinos in general are not tested.
Yeah.
So we don't know basically
how many
are infected.
This incredible mold
Advertisement,
remover
yeah,
gel
one
can
moment.
restore your bathroom and tiles to their original shine in just 15 minutes.
And this is not to scare you guys, because obviously we want you to feel safe here and also call the Philippines your second home or your home. But know the facts that if you are trying to enter into a relationship with a Filipino or a Filipina, this is one topic that you guys should talk about, right?
Yeah.
For your peace of mind and also for a healthy life, a healthy and happy life. So that's just my 2 cents for today. Thank you so much, Belle, for taking the time answering my questions. I know this is this is still considered a touchy subject here. Sensitive issue. But then again, I want to give you guys the scoop, the real life here in the Philippines. And I hope you enjoyed or at least learned something from today's episode. And I'll be back in 3 more days with something you won't expect. That's a promise. Thank you so much and have a good one. Thank you, Belle. If you think about it, I'm kind of like a pirate, helping you navigate the tricky waters of Filipino culture and dating, and telling you how to find your first mate. Are you gonna listen to just anyone, or trust your Captain P to lead you to the booty? And you best be hitting that like button, subscribing to me channel, and hitting that notification bell, or I'll shiver your timbers and cut off your gym. And while we be sailing, why not feast your eyes on me other videos too? And yes, I'm a real pirate. I've got the sunken chest to prove it.
Filipina Pea, Filipina Pea, Filipina Pea, my girl, Filipina Pea, Filipina Pea, Filipina Pea. Well, that was unexpected, that part about people personally injecting people with their blood because they have HIV and giving it to other people. I didn't expect that. That is absolutely crazy, and we know here in the U.S. that would never fly. I think it is illegal. I think she did say that. The doctor did say that it is illegal there as well too. But if you don't know who the person is and they're just walking up to you in a club and they just prick you with something, then you wouldn't even know who they is. That's absolutely crazy. Um, as again, like P and like the doctor is talking about, making sure you know who you kick it with, even when you travel to these other countries, even if you're talking to people online and then you fly to go and meet them, just know who you kicking it with. Be aware of who you're kicking it with, because this world out here, even in these other countries, can even be crazy too. Like I said, that was even a shock for me. So anybody that's traveling abroad, keep that in mind, especially to the Philippines, because obviously they do be doing that out there. But obviously it is something that be taking place out in the clubs, so you definitely don't want to go there if you live a wild lifestyle here in the U.S., because it's going to be very possible that you could end up getting pricked and then you're looking up, and then all of a sudden you have AIDS or HIV. So that is a very serious thing. Um, so that that is crazy. So just make sure you're kicking it with, good women when you travel to these other countries, particularly in the Philippines. Make sure you're kicking it with somebody good. Make sure the person that you're talking to online and stuff that you're kicking it with when you go and meet them and stuff. Just go visit them multiple times, figure out everything about them, travel back and forth. You know, just everything. Um, my biggest thing is to have them travel to you and you go travel to them. You go travel to them first, get to know them, go there several times, come back and forth, and then them come and travel to you, come to the U.S., come visit you, go back and forth, and all that. And get to know each other and things like that. Get to know the Philippines. If you've been there before, cool. If you haven't yet, then cool too when you go. All that. Make sure you know who you're really kicking it with. And then as for the whole thing that they're talking about like the clubs and stuff, I would just probably avoid all that together because that is crazy. If you really want to go that bad, you probably want to wear long sleeves and just burn up to try to prevent yourself from getting pricked, because that is just absolutely crazy. I did not expect that, as you keep hearing me say. That was absolutely crazy. I will have the link back to P pinned at the top of the chat as always, and the link in the description back to my girl P. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace. Be safe if you travel abroad to these other countries, because what we just heard was absolutely crazy. Peace.